Get to know the National Park Service Grant Program, Save America's Treasures, presented by the Office of Sponsored Projects. In 1998, President Clinton signed an executive order. Save America's Treasures was part of his National Millennium Commemoration, originally formed as a public-private partnership that included the White House, the National Park Service, and the National Trust for Historic Preservation. What are Save America's Treasures, or SAT, grants? The intent is to focus public attention on the importance of our national heritage by protecting America's threatened cultural treasures, collections, works of art, maps, and journals that document U.S. history and culture. Save our treasures at risk by partnering with organizations, including the National Endowment for the Arts, Heritage Preservation, and the National Park Foundation, to develop public awareness and education. Preserve and/or conserve nationally significant intellectual and cultural artifacts and nationally significant historic structures and sites. Who is eligible? Nonprofit organizations and educational institutions. Grants are not available for work on sites or collections owned by the National Park Service. What is funded? It is required that collections and sites be nationally significant. Collections may be threatened, endangered, or in need of urgent preservation and/or conservation. Projects must have educational, interpretive, or training value and a clear public benefit. Projects must be feasible. The applicant must demonstrate ability to complete the project and match the federal funds. What is not funded? Acquisition of collections, cataloging of collections, long-term maintenance or curatorial work beyond the grant period, interpretive or training programs, construction of new buildings, cash reserves, endowments, or revolving funds, costs of fundraising campaigns, costs of work performed prior to grant award, individual structures or collections that have received a Save America's Treasures grant in the past. Amount available. Each eligible property and/or collection may only receive one Save America's Treasures grant. Collections project applicants may request a minimum of $25,000 and a maximum of $750,000. Cost share. Grants must be matched dollar for dollar with non-federal cash and/or in-kind contribution. Matching share must be expended within the grant period. Eligible projects must be of national significance based on the supportive description of its significance within the application. These may include artifacts, museum collections, documents, sculptures, or other works of art. Past funded projects from within the Smithsonian Institution include sound recordings from Alexander Graham Bell's Volta Laboratory. The National Museum of American History received a grant to recover and conserve sound from 20 experimental Volta Laboratory recordings, including the only documented recording of Bell's voice. Star-Spangled Banner Conservation Laboratory. The National Museum of American History project received a grant to fund the construction of a conservation lab, temporary exhibition, and a 3-year textile conservation treatment of the flag. Saving threatened artifacts from the Apollo era. The National Air and Space Museum received a grant to preserve the Apollo-era spacesuits. Non-Smithsonian project examples include William M. Black. The National Mississippi River Museum and Aquarium in Dubuque, Iowa, received a grant for the stabilization and preservation of the steamboat William M. Black. The Wirtz Brothers Photography Collection. Nearly 20,000 photographic prints, print negatives, polyester negatives, glass negatives, notes, receipts, brochures, advertisements, 10 ledgers, and other miscellaneous ephemera. Maryland Historical Society Daguerreotype Collection. More than 300 daguerreotypes that document regional and national history in the MCHC collection. Conserving high-priority artifacts excavated between 1988 and 2002 at historic St. Mary's City. Preservation of 61 historical miscellaneous books starting in 1785. Miscellaneous books record chattel, slave emancipation, marriages, court orders and decrees, dower release, powers of attorney, etc. Conservation of the New York Historical Society's Beekman family coach, one of only 3 horse-drawn vehicles used in 18th century America, restored to its 1790s appearance. Application questions to expect. Project summary. What are the major goals of the project? National significance. Prove the collection is nationally significant. Timeline. Describe the expected timeline of the project. Severity of threat. Convey the urgency of threat to the collection that will be addressed. Effectiveness. Clearly convey how work directly addresses and mitigates the threat and show a clear public benefit. Feasibility. Prove the grantee has skills and abilities to complete project within the budget. Document the ability to contribute the required non-federal match during the grant period. Keep a close eye out for the deadline annually. It changes. The program announcement is usually around October, and submission deadline is usually between December and January. For the most up-to-date information, including where to apply, visit the National Park Service at www.nps.gov/articles/save-america-s-treasures.htm or www.nps.gov/preservation-grants/sat/index.html. It will usually be listed under CFDA number 15.929 on grants.gov. Thank you. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact the Office of Sponsored Projects by phone at 202-633-7110 or by email at ospmail@si.edu.